We are
we
live with the Kim Gravel Show. Hey, Kim.
Hey, Zach.
That's not exactly right. But
no, but you know what, Amy?
It's close enough.
Don't even. Y'all, hey.
The Kim Gravel Show.
Okay,
Here,
so
I'll do this. I'll do the real music, all right? Here you go.
I'm waiting on my music. Thank you, Zach. We're trying to give you hints, and bless your heart, you're not getting. So look, we're live on Facebook. We are live on Instagram. And Amy, 1, 2, 3, we are live on TikTok. TikTok, we are live. We're coming for you. This is a taping of the live Kim Gravel Show podcast, and we wanted to be on TikTok because everybody's on TikTok.
Everybody's
now.
on TikTok.
Everybody on social media.
Everybody.
So
you're saying we're live right now?
Yeah.
We're live.
We are on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
Oh my God.
It is we're taking over the world, Amy.
Taking over.
You know what? And I don't want to. I really don't, y'all. I am busier than a one-arm paper hanger.
You are.
And
you
think
are
about
busy.
how busy a one-arm paper hanger would be.
That's very
That's
busy.
an old Southern saying.
Yeah, I never heard that saying growing up.
Did you ever hear the saying, she scratches her watch and winds her butt?
Yeah, I heard that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about she's nutty in a squirrel turd?
I don't think I heard that one.
Yeah, my
I think you
grandmother
might
used to
have
say
made
that all
one
the
up.
time.
Yeah,
I didn't make that up. I'm not that clever. What other Southern sayings have you heard?
This is.
Is it going to be good or is it going to be?
No, it's not.
Just say it.
It's not funny, but I had this one cousin, and I'll tell you why that you say "great day in the morning."
Yeah,
you
that's
remember
not
that?
good. That is not. Wah, wah.
I know,
We're
it's
looking
not
for
good.
Southern.
That's funny.
Yeah. But speaking of your cousins, Amy is my best friend. And can I say that she is related? I mean, we could go to Africa on a safari in the deep jungle.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a jungle?
Yeah.
Okay, I was making
Yeah.
sure.
Let's go with
And
the
she
jungle.
would be kin to somebody.
Mhm.
She would be kin to somebody, Zach. I mean,
Yep.
like Amy is well connected.
I am. Can I tell a little story?
Yeah.
I'll
Tell it.
try
Everybody,
to-
we're live.
So when I was in college, people used to tease me all the time because the town where I went to college, my grandmother was from there. So I had a lot, and she was one of 9 kids. So I had a lot of extended cousins
In that town.
So that was the joke in college. Everywhere I went, I saw a cousin.
Because
everywhere.
you went to college where Bo's going to college.
Yes, Truett McCall.
He's following his Aunt Amy.
So we were on a choir trip one time, and we were like way far away, still in Georgia, but like several hours away. And we were going into Wendy's to eat, and everybody was teasing like, "Amy, you gonna have a?" I was like, "No, I don't know anybody here. I promise we're not gonna see any cousins." Walk in, I see. I said,
We've been in New York,
I
and
was like,
people
"Oh
have
my
stopped
God,
us."
there's my cousin," and they were like, "No, it's not." I was like, "It really isn't." So whatever, it was a cousin on my dad's side. So yeah, I see people I know all over. I don't know why, but it does.
Well,
happen
that is.
Didn't I see somebody in New York one time? That was my cousin.
Yes, everywhere we go.
Yeah.
Paris, France. There they are.
Why. I don't know why.
I think your people are just really connected, strong family.
I
And
guess.
you know, now that you're adopted into our family.
Well, you know what it is? Can I tell you I know what it is? Because no, this is really has a lot to do with it. On both my mom and my dad's side, we had family reunions every year.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
So
I
that-
live for your family.
I know,
reunion.
so that connects me.
Yeah.
So, a lot of people, I probably don't have as many more cousins or things than everybody else, but
Y'all are close.
I would see them once a year. Yeah.
God, her family reunion, y'all, and the peaches. I don't
Yeah.
know what we got to
Oh my
circle back
God.
because everybody. Can I just tell you, everybody's been so excited about this live because the one I had before with my mother, because this is this supernatural faith series,
which I'm excited to talk about.
We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to go places we've never been before.
Oh, Lord.
Hello, by the way. I'm here in the control room. Hello. I'm doing all the controlling
Zach's here in the
here.
control room.
Let's-
So we're live on TikTok, we're live on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So we're going to tell some stories that either may or may not be accepted. But honey, it's real. What we're going
Right.
to tell you tonight is real. But we've got a lot of supernatural stories. I'm going to kick it off because I posted a little quick ad saying we're going to be talking about supernatural faith, and I've had so many responses
Okay.
of people. Michelle, I've got several, but I'll start us off. Michelle says, responding to my little TikTok, video, talking about how we're going to be live, said, "This week, 2 years ago, I was laying in a hospital room in a coma with 3 days to a week to live due to a heart and lung complication, and I'm still alive.
Wow.
God is so good, and I thank him every day for this healing. So like whatever supernatural faith story you have, I want you, Zach, to put it in the chat. Let us know what's going on and how you've experienced faith in a supernatural way. And I'm not talking like, ooh, I'm not talking about, spooky or I'm talking about real miracles, really when you saw God move in your life in a real way, because that's your testimony, right?
Yeah. Well, like what you and I experienced.
It's bizarre.
It's
scary.
Nobody can tell you any other.
No. Let's just get this off and get this started. Let's talk about I have always been a person. I had this great woman I talked to the other day. It was on a Monday. And she did something so brilliant. She said that 1% of the world, listen to this, y'all focus in on what I'm saying. 1% of the world, what we experience in the world is what we see, feel, can touch, taste. 99% of the rest of what we experience is spiritual.
Yes, I totally agree with that.
Okay. Tell me why.
I've said this for a long time that I just feel like we live in a much more spiritual world than physical.
Right.
That I think there's angels, I don't know, angels, beings, whatever are around us.
Right.
I think some people that we
There's
see
angels,
as people are angels or are spiritual beings. I think.
What about demons?
Oh yeah.
Oh Lord.
That's for real. And if you don't think that's for real,
we're gonna tell you by the end of this.
No,
keep listening to the
you know
live.
what? But I think you have to. To me, I think it's important to view the world like that.
Oh my gosh, Zach already has comments.
Okay, I got comments. You want to hear some?
Okay.
I'm gonna.
I do because it's gonna spawn. Okay.
Okay.
Are you gonna read them?
So Gail, I put it on the screen, but I know you can't read it from the screen.
I can't see it.
Okay.
Gail wrote, I was almost killed
Zach.
by a motorcycle wreck in 1997. Family was told I should not live through the night. 28 years later, I work full time, live on my own. The glory be to God.
Yeah. And there's even more to that story, because you can't write a total book in the comments, but anytime, anything, you've got to reach out and let us know your supernatural experiences. Because I've had so many, you've had so many. Let's start with a fun, light one.
Okay.
Washer and dryer. Did I ever tell you this story, Zach? Did I tell this the other day when Mom was on there about the washer and dryer? I can't remember.
I think you did tell it before, but go ahead. Let's
I'm
go.
going to let Amy tell it because she's going to tell it more accurately. Do you remember when we first became friends?
Yes.
And you didn't have a pot to pee in?
I did not have a lot. No.
You were making, how much did you make?
Oh my God.
At a Christian school? She was assistant principal. She got spanked. Well, how much did you make?
If I remember correctly, I made $13,000.
Do you remember when you told me that you made $13,000? Yeah. I thought this woman should be on food stamps. I couldn't believe it.
Well, that even of itself was supernatural because I swear to you, I don't know how I made it.
I don't know how you made it. Your apartment rent was expensive when I first met you.
Yeah.
Zach.
It was a miracle in itself.
Okay.
Because I know how much I had coming in and I knew how much I went out. It was going out.
But you did a lot of side hustles.
I did.
Yeah.
I taught voice lessons and stuff like
that.
So
when we first met and you lived on your own, we lived together for a long time. And then I got married to Travis and then you bought your first house. Tell the story.
About the washer and dryer?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so I had
Total miracle.
Yeah. So I had.
No. First tell the $100 story. Okay, tell that one first because that was you were younger.
Yeah, that was. I think I'd met you, but I don't remember. But anyway, so I was at my church and we were doing a big building program, and I really wanted to give, but I had literally
no money. $13,000 a year.
Yeah. I mean, I literally had not a spare, but I felt lit and I wanted to give. So we had our little decision, our little commitment cards, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to put $100 down here, and I'm gonna trust that the Lord's going to give it to me to be able to give that to the building program. So I put it on the card, turned it in, didn't think anything else about it. Like maybe a week or two later, it was actually the end of school. And we were at the end of school program or whatever. And one of my students came up to me and she said, she gave me a hug and I think she was graduating or something. She said, I just want to give you this. And so she gave me a card and I'm getting chills right now. And I opened up and there was $100 bill in there. And I was like, that is that
God.
this is the $100 that I asked God to give me that to give to the building program. So that was a big moment.
Was that the first time that something like that had really it's not the first time that something happened to you, because y'all, these things happen to us all the time. We just don't recognize it.
That was one of the biggest for me to recognize it. Right. And where I put it out, and it was exact. It was like I put $100 on the card and then I got a $100 bill. So I was like, there was no question, when I got that, I was like, okay, I hear you. And that was during a time where I was actually praying to the Lord about helping me to trust him in my finances, because I grew up with money was a very big.
Just say it.
It was just hard. It was just, there was a lot of.
Tell a little bit of your background, because people know you through me and they're like, Kim.
Well,
do you feel comfortable or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Because God broke that curse of that.
He did. Yes.
That's a miracle.
There was just growing up that we just had a lot of money problems growing up. And then my dad committed suicide when I was 24. And, largely based on
financial
pressures and issues. So money, to say the least, growing up and into my early adulthood was definitely a trigger, and definitely an area where I had some strongholds. So for the Lord to come through for me like that, and then to see where I've come now, it's just.
Hey y'all, I'm so excited to welcome a new sponsor to the show, Peak. They're on a mission to create doctor-approved, cutting-edge solutions for your head-to-toe health and beauty transformation. Peak's Radiant Skin Duo has been a game changer for me, and this doctor-recommended duo, backed by top experts, is designed to deeply hydrate, boost your energy, I need that, whole body wellness from the inside out. And with over 15,000 five-star reviews, I knew I had to try it. And y'all, just simply wow, because within weeks, I felt a huge difference. And let's talk about purity, because not all wellness products are created equal. Peak goes above and beyond with the quadruple toxic screening, meaning every single ingredient is tested for heavy metals, pesticides, and mold. No artificial junk, no sugar, just clean, science-backed hydration and energy. So if you're tired of feeling depleted and want to finally nourish your body the right way, now's the time. Get 20% off plus a free starter kit with my exclusive link, peaklife.com/Kim. That's PIQUE life.com/Kim. Don't sleep on this, y'all. Your body and your skin is going to thank you. A lot of times what we struggle with shows up a lot in our life, our big Achilles heel, that thing that we're traumatized by. And I think I can say that I've seen God work miracles in your life, and this supernatural faith come through financially.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah. Because it was such a struggle growing up, and definite strongholds. And I feel like it was a family curse that God allowed me to break. God definitely grew my faith in that area, and it took hard work on my part, but also willingness. A lot of faith, and but yeah, that's a strong area. So you want to get to the washer and dryer? So because I'm giving a pattern here. I'm trying to show everybody how God moves supernaturally in our lives, so that we can all be awakened to it, and like how Bo said on his podcast, he goes, "I'm looking for it now." Right.
Okay.
Yes, because I think that's so real, because God did start in my life doing kind of small things like that.
The $100 bill.
Right. And then it's gotten more and more. So I bought my first house, and that in and of itself was just
a miracle.
Yeah, a miracle, and so amazing. So, but I didn't have a washer and dryer at all. And so I think it was like day before Thanksgiving or something. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was Black Friday.
Because I remember
weekend.
I think we had gone and had our Thanksgiving meal or something. And then the next day I had already planned, I was planning to get ready to go the next day to buy a brand new washer and dryer, which I really didn't have the money for.
I know, but can I say this about you? Y'all have to know this about Amy. I'm gonna have to pause you because I want to set the stage.
Okay.
Because Amy I'm obsessive and compulsive. So is she. So she is the person, I got to get a washer and dryer. I'm going to get a washer and dryer.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like you were saying, God, give me a washer and dryer. It was not faith-based. Like, meaning like you weren't believing for a washer and dryer. You're just like, oh, I'm going to pay for a washer and dryer. Like it was, you talked about it to the point I'm like, dang, let me just get you a washer and dryer.
Yeah.
Okay.
I talked about a lot. Yeah.
It was a
little bit of anxiety because I needed a washer and dryer. but I didn't really have the money to do it.
Right.
You know, when you buy a new house, there's a lot of expenses.
You were stressed.
So,
you were stressed.
Yeah, I was a little stressed about it. Yeah.
All right.
So anyway, I had already planned. I was going the next day to buy a washer and dryer, and so it was getting to be evening. We were driving through your neighborhood, and
I think it was Thanksgiving night.
I think it was Thanksgiving night. Yeah, and we were driving through your neighborhood, and sitting on the side of the road in front of a house
in the neighborhood
was a washer and dryer, and it had a sign on it. I'll never forget. It had a sign on it. It said "Free to anybody who will take." And I was like,
and it looked like brand new.
Yeah.
Like it was like, I mean, it was used, but it looked nice.
Yeah. And so we were driving by and Rusto was like, oh, what was that? And so, cause of course we were driving by it. I couldn't see what the sign said. Mm-mm. So I backed up and I saw it said free to anybody takes it. I was like, oh my goodness. So I jumped out of the car.
Didn't I tell you to sit on it?
I did sit on it because we didn't want anybody to take it. So I think we were going to go get somebody who had a truck. So anyway, I got out and just sat on the washer and dryer.
She's like, you ain't getting my washer and dryer.
We got it in my house, and that washer and dryer worked. It worked for me to the whole.
I think until you got to the new house.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is the thing. Did you leave it there? Did you leave it for the people who bought your house?
I think so.
I do too.
I think I did, yeah.
This is the thing. So you're seeing this pattern, y'all. And I want you to put in the chat, if God has moved for you supernaturally in your life, health, finances, deliveries, from an addiction. I want you to put a little bit of your story in the chat so Zach can testify as we're talking about this. Because after the washer and dryer, you were like full on.
Yeah.
You were like, ask and it shall be given to you, pressed down, shaken together, and running over.
Right.
Give or it shall be given unto you. Ask, believe, receive. I mean, you were, at that point, you were like, if he can, if he's going to sit here and worry about my washer and dryer, I'm all in.
Right. Well, and that situation was one I really didn't
even try.
Yeah, I didn't try. Didn't really I mean, I might have said, Lord, but who's thinking you go to find a washer and dryer
on the side of the road?
On the side of the road that works.
Right.
I mean, how does that happen?
Amy, do you think that your faith, because a lot of people going, that sounds good for you. You know what I'm saying? I can see people say, do you think it was because you really didn't have any other choice? I mean, like, you didn't have parents to fall back on. You didn't have siblings or family to fall back on. I mean, you have siblings, but everybody trying to pay their bills.
I think it was because God just wanted to bless me.
Okay.
And he's like, that's my child and she needs a washer and dryer. And I think he used it to grow my faith, to go, look, I'm here for you and I got you. And you need a washer and dryer. And yeah, could he have supplied money to go buy one? Maybe, but it wouldn't have been near as impactful. That was like God just dropping something that I needed. And that showed me he cared for me so much. He just dropped a washer and dryer right there in my path.
Somebody needs a washer and dryer right now.
Yeah.
We have so many incredible comments from people. Can I put some on the screen?
Can you
just
share
people's supernatural stories?
You can put them on the screen, but you need to talk. You're going to have to share them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to hear some of them because this is what it's about.
This is a 3-parter, but it knocked my socks off because it's wild. So I was a professional downhill ski racer and had a bad crash going 73 miles an hour. Okay. Heard my grandfather's voice when I was knocked out, telling me not to move. Later, I found if I had moved a quarter of an inch, I would have been paralyzed. I believe my grandfather came down from heaven and saved my life, just from New Jersey. So that's amazing.
And you know what? Let me say this too from you Miss New Jersey. Listen to me. And I believe God allowed it to be your grandfather so you would recognize that comfort. The beautiful thing about, and I'm getting cold chills, so I know this is touching somebody. The beautiful thing about God is that he speaks to us where we are at.
Right.
We think we got to get all holy and speak to him the way he speaks to you. I mean, the way you speak. I mean, no. We think we got to clean up, get all holy to speak to him the way he was. Thou shalt. He speaks to us right where we're at. Right. All we got to do is listen. All right, go ahead, Zach. Somebody need to hear that.
Okay, here's another one. This is actually reminds me so much of your story, Kim, because you have a story just like this. So maybe we should have you tell yours.
No, go ahead. Do it.
driving in traffic stopped abruptly while she was driving. I was going to hit a car. Everything stopped around me and in mirrors, and my car kept moving. Then I looked at my mirror and everything started and traffic was all behind me. Basically, it's almost like she just went through the cars.
Picked up. Boom. Right.
And you have a story like this. You've told this story, I think, a few years ago on the pod. Do you remember that?
I have so many stories, y'all. And it all started, and remember when we told the story about the angels with my mom? We told that story marching, and my mom has so many to the point that people are going to start thinking these people are fruity loop. And we are, but not in this way, right? Any more stories you want to share like that before I head into my supernatural story?
No. I can't think
You'll
of any.
think of something.
I know.
Interrupt because there's so many.
I know. There's so many and I can't think of any of them right now, but
there's so many. Well, this is the thing. The one that really set me into a place of passion / you ain't gonna tell me nothing because I experienced it was when Blanton was born.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And did I tell this with my mom? I don't think I did.
I don't think so.
You didn't.
Blanton was premature. We had done a beloved retreat, which was a little singing group we had, and it was like 300 or 400 women, and we jumped on tables and we had a ball. We did a conga line, the whole 9 yards. I mean, and I was like about to burst. I think I had another month and a half left of my pregnancy or something like that. And you know me, I go all in.
When you were on your feet all weekend.
And I loved every second of it. And then the day after that, I went to the doctor and she said, you got to go to the hospital. And so I thought, well, Blanton's going to come early. And she was like, I think it was about 8 weeks early, if I'm not mistaken. It was early. It was early where they were like, we got to get you to the hospital.
Yeah.
And I had preeclampsia, so I had high blood pressure. So everything was, and I was 38. So I was basically, an old lady. And having a baby. And so I went to the hospital. I'll never forget it. I drove straight there. Do you remember?
Yes.
Nobody took me.
No.
I called Travis. I called you. I called Mom. I said, look, I've got to go to the hospital. They're checking me in. They want to check me out. Mm-hmm. So when they checked me in and did all the tests and did everything, and they were like, you need to stay here. We're going to try to get your blood pressure down. We're going to try to, get everything aligned so that we can take you back home, so you can go back home. And I remember I was watching Pride and Prejudice. Remember I had Travis bring me up my videos and stuff. And nothing was changing. It was getting worse. I mean, y'all, I probably had 15 ultrasounds. Okay? Like, seriously, so many I can't. I mean, it was just like, we're going to do another ultrasound. I'm like, okay. Like, ultrasound. Remember the first bed I was in? It was so uncomfortable. Remember, I was like, I can't stay here. Mm-hmm. So they're like, finally, because it was the emergency room. So finally, they just said, we're going to move you to a room. We're going to keep you here until you have the baby. You're going to be on bed rest.
And you were thinking you were going to be there like for 6
Do you remember?
weeks.
Y'all brought me all kinds of stuff. I thought it was going to be like 6 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I thought, and remember what I said? I'm like, oh my God, I got so much work to do. How am I going to stay here? So I was going to get Travis to bring my computers, everything. Yeah. So that was that. I was there 2 nights, and that was heading into the third night. They're like, we're going to put you in a nice room, big room, private room, and you're going to stay here. So I remember sleeping that night. The doctor came in and said, nobody was there. Because you know me, when I'm sick, what do?
You like to be by
yourself. I don't want everybody coming up around me. I don't want to even look at somebody. If they start smacking or chewing gum, it'll make me ill. So, or eating, and you're sitting in the bed. Okay. Or breathing. Okay, so I'm in the I'm in the hospital room that night, and I was so peaceful. And actually, I got a little bit excited. I thought, oh my gosh, I get to be by myself in a hotel room. In a private hospital room by myself for 6 weeks. I almost had a little bit of excitement.
Yeah.
So the next morning, the doctor comes in, and they check me, and they were like, oh, okay, this is great. I think your blood pressure's getting higher, and we're getting more alarmed, and it's getting dangerous. So we're going to have to induce you. Mm-hmm. And I was a little nervous at that point, but not alarmed. I thought, because Bo came early, and I thought, well, he said, we've done all these ultrasounds. The baby's going to be fine. He might have to stay in the NICU a few weeks, but he's going to be fine. Everything's looking good. Keep in mind, they've taken like 10 ultrasounds. So I said, okay. So I called everybody. I called Travis. The doctor said, I'm going to induce you when I get back, but this is going to be a long, drawn out thing. Tell everybody not to come up now. You're probably not going to give birth to like 2 a.m. because the doctor was getting ticked off about it, that he was going to have to, be there at 2 a.m. So I called everybody. I called you, called Travis, called mom and dad. I'm like, y'all don't come up. They're going to induce me. They're going to move me to another room for labor delivery and induce me when I get there. Okay. So they moved my room and everything, and I'm at labor delivery room. I probably wasn't there after I made all my calls to the family, 20 minutes. And when I tell y'all, I felt like my body was being turned inside out. The pain was so severe. I was catching my breath. It was so painful. And I never experienced anything like that before. And I've experienced labor pains, but this wasn't a labor pain. It was a death pain. And if you've ever been close to death and you know what I'm talking about, that's what it felt like. So I had an IV bag with me. And so I could get off the bed. I rang for a nurse, and the little girl that came in, she was like 18 and a half. I mean, she was young. She was like a student nurse. She was so pretty. I think her name was Hope. But I didn't have a lot of hope because I said, babe, I'm dying. She said, no, this is just part of it, and we're just going to do this. And she gave me a morphine shot. We're going to help with the pain. I'm like, but I'm in such pain. So the morphine shot did not even begin to touch the pain. In fact, I think it made it worse. So I took my IV bag and I went to the bathroom and I sat on the toilet rocking back and forth. I was in such pain. Such pain. And y'all, what seemed like 5 hours, come to find out it was like 45 minutes. It was so bad, I couldn't breathe. I'll never forget it. And I fell to the floor on my knees. On the floor in that cold, hard bathroom. And I knew I was done. I'm like, I'm dying. I'm like, I know something is seriously wrong here. I am dying. And I remember saying, Lord, I can go. I'm going to start crying. God, I'm going to start crying. And pull it together. I said, God, I can go. Just let my baby live. And when I did that, this amazing halo light that wasn't a light came. It was not, I couldn't see it. I could just know it. It was like in here. And it was the most amazing euphoria. I've never been high, but if this feels like that, I get why people do drugs, because it was a high like I cannot explain. It was energy. It was passion. It was peace. I just could I could just exhale. And for somebody who never can relax and let go, it was like euphoria. Mm-hmm. And I just heard this internal voice. It wasn't audible, but I heard inside says, I'm not done with you. Mm-hmm. Mm. I'm not done with you. And when that voice, it wasn't male or female. It's the weirdest thing. It was just the I am. And when the I am said to me, I'm not done with you. And I said, please, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go. Meaning I didn't want to leave his presence. Mm-hmm. I instantly came back into my body and the pain instantly came back. I mean, it was like no pain. And it was like, y'all, listen to me. It was like a painless feeling. You've never felt that before, because even if you're human and you're in a body, you feeling pain. This is pain. Mm-hmm. You're feeling pain. It was like it was like pain didn't exist. Mm. Emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, anything. Like I couldn't think of anything that's ever bad happened to me.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. There was just no pain. When I came to and felt the pain, I immediately ripped the emergency cord off in the bathroom. And this woman with spiky blonde hair, and y'all, she had on ring. All I remember is she was blinging. I mean, like she had like rhinestone earrings, and like she looked like what an angel would look like for me. You know, she like a glamazon
guardian angel.
She was like, hey, that angel's for Kim. That girl's for Kim. And she came in and I said, I'm dying. And she said, come here, sweetheart. And she picked me up and I'll never forget because I had the IV bag. And she took me to the bed and sat me on the bed and checked me. She lifted my gown up and y'all, when I tell you there was blood everywhere, when I came to, it looked like Carrie. You remember that movie Carrie where they poured that blood all over her?
Gosh,
there was blood on the walls. There was blood on the ceiling. It was like I was hemorrhaging. And all I remember goes, oh my, because when she came back, I said, oh my God, there's so much blood. When I look back, I mean, it looked like it was covered in blood.
Oh
the
God.
Walls, the toilet, everything.
Crazy. I wonder how it got there.
I don't know. So I got on the bed and she said, sweetheart, you this baby's crowning. You get ready to give birth. And I was like, what? I hadn't been induced, nothing. So I said, I got to have an epidural. She said, baby, you ain't got time for no epidural. She said, so they had to pull a doctor off. I'll never forget it. It was this beautiful African-American woman and she came off and she said, she looked me in my eyes. She said, sweetheart, we don't have time for an epidural. You with me? I said, do I have a choice? And we leaned back, 2 pushes, Blanton was out. So long story short, my doctor was doing rounds, but he was off in another floor. He came into me, pulled the chair up. And y'all, when I say I gave birth, there was 30 people sitting in that. By the time he said we're giving birth, there was 30 nurses. It was packed. I'm like, I've got a freaking audience here. My crotch is shining to everybody. So I just, I'm like, why are all these people here? I mean, seriously, Zach, I'm not kidding you. I was like, and then I was going, oh my God, what if they go in the bathroom? Then I was embarrassed. And the doctor came in afterwards and everybody was pulling Blanton. And I got to see him for 2 seconds and then they rushed him off. And he was fine, or, they didn't know, but I mean, he was breathing, screaming loud. And the doctor came in. And keep in mind, I was by myself. There was no Amy. There was no Travis. There was no mom and dad. I was right by myself. Mm-hmm. And the doctor pulled up a chair, Amy, and he said to me, you had about, I can't remember, it's 4 or 5 golf ball size blood clots in the sack with your son. You should not be here, and he definitely should not be here. He said, do you mind can you do a waiver and sign? We want to take your placenta and all the afterbirth, and we want to do some tests. He said, I don't know how we did not see those in all these ultrasounds.
Oh, they didn't see them?
They said, it wasn't golf ball, it was softball sizes.
Softball, yeah.
He said, because he held his fist, he said the size of, a softball. If like 4 or 5. He said, these should have been straight to your heart. These should have been straight. So y'all, when I tell you, but I didn't care about any of that. You know what I thought about? I want to feel what I felt. Mm-hmm. Nobody can ever tell me that is not real.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Do you remember when y'all came in?
Yes.
I just
remember because you had called us at 11 and told us don't come. Mm-hmm. And then I don't remember what time it was, not long. And then all of a sudden I get a call, Kim's got a party. And so we're all just like, frantically trying to get to the hospital.
I mean, Travis came in with a wife beater's t-shirt on.
Yeah.
And a pair of shorts.
Yeah.
I mean, I will, y'all,
it's crazy.
But it's not even about being healed or I experienced his presence. Right. And let me tell you something. If you are a person in pain right now, or if you are experiencing something, anxiety, depression, financial strain, or whatever, get in his presence. Mm-hmm. Get in his presence. Because once you taste that, you don't want to go back. Mm-mm. And nobody can tell you it don't exist.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah.
I don't care if I'm right. I know because I've seen it.
You're absolutely right.
And I know I'm kind of crazy and partially delusional and off. But I know what I experience.
Right. Once you experience that, nobody can tell you any different, which, I mean, is a good thing, I think. I mean, nobody can take that experience away from you.
And I don't go around talking about all these things that we've experienced. I mean, we talk about it. And I think for us sharing it with people right now, I mean, look, some people are going to think, well, I don't really give a rip, but that's why I want to say, share your story. In the chat, Zach, have you heard other people?
Oh, yeah. There's been tons of people here. Let me
share a few of them because, see, that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm talking about. People, the enemy, the other side of that spiritual coin, does not want us to share those stories because that's where the power lies. Our power lies within our relationship with him, but also he's real and he's God, whether you believe it or not.
Right.
Right? And so he's always looking ways to let you see him.
Yeah. And like you said, it's like once you experience something supernatural, then you're on the lookout for it.
Ooh.
You know,
Be on the lookout.
for a lot of reasons, just because to be on the to kind of see God working around you. But like you said, you want to get back to that place of feeling that peace.
Well, and sometimes I forget it.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Oh, yeah.
I forget,
do too.
I have to remind myself, you need to really step back into this humility and this grateful heart.
Yeah.
And it really makes me realize we're not in control.
Right.
We can why stress? Because we're not in control anyway. Zach, read some of the other people's stories. I want to hear them.
Okay. Yeah, there's some amazing. I mean, we have so many.
I know.
So there's a
love
small
this.
one. I like this one a lot. This is from a few minutes ago. I was a broke single mom walking my dog through a church parking lot, asking for some cash. Looked down, and a $10 bill floated to me.
That's it.
You know, the small. It's the small
Broke single
miracles.
mom.
Yep.
What about read some others, Zach?
I mean, there's some really long ones, right? The thing that's really cool is that everyone is saying, you know, I felt this too. Amen, amen. Like the chat is just full of people who are, who have experienced some version of this. I think everyone has this supernatural faith story in their lives. And I don't think it's something that people talk about because, you know, I don't know. How do you feel
People
talking
think you're
about
crazy.
it, Kim? Yeah, you don't really talk about this except, you know, we sort of started it a few weeks ago with your mom and now we're continuing it. Why do you think, A, it's so important to tell these stories, but B, like that you haven't really?
I think what would you say, Amy? You think we're at a place where, you know, I think the timing is right. I think for such a time as this, I think the world is so broken and hurt and lost. Not only, I'm not talking about just with their, you know, walk with the Lord, but just lost as what to do.
Yeah. What's the next move? Just basically down to something as simple as that.
Right.
You know,
Like, I mean, I think confusion and there's no absolutes anymore with truth, and everything is in the gray area, and which, hey, you know, I love gray area. Like, I'm married to a man it's black or white, and I got a boy that's black or white, and I'm like, but can't it be some shade of gray? But there's just some things, like God is God, period. Yeah. I mean, there's just, you know, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, that is truth.
Yeah.
I mean, and for me, I think everybody, it's a way of thinking about life. Life is supernatural. It's that 99%.
It is. It's all about the way you look at it and being on the lookout for it. Because I was going to say, without the risk of getting too, you know, Christianese or whatever, but
get
God, I
Christianese.
think God is always in pursuit of us.
That is truth.
You know, and he's reaching to us.
He's wooing.
He's wooing us. He's giving us nuggets. He's showing us he loves us. He's showing us he cares. He's showing, and I think it's a matter of us, you know, looking at it with those eyes and being expectant. You know, looking at life, walking through life, being expectant that these, you know, supernatural things are going to happen.
But I forgot what I was going to say, Amy.
Here, take a second.
Y'all,
Remember, Kim.
Brain fog. Okay, you got something you want to share?
I got some here. Yeah, let me. I found a few more because there's so many. So
Keep
yeah, here's
share
some
them.
from
I want to hear
Facebook.
your stories.
All right. She had the same experience in the hospital after a heart attack. It's an out-of-body experience. Someone watching over us, God or Jesus, are higher than anyone or anything.
Yeah.
And
no, I'm telling you. And think about I can't read the name. What's that name?
Lynn.
Experience that? Lynn, think about this. You and I have had this shared experience. Oh God, get coaches. What if you and I started talking? What if you were sitting on the couch right now and I could hear your story in detail? And how cool is that I could go, girl, I know exactly what you feel. Like all these supernatural experiences that we experience, because this is the thing. God is the same today, yesterday, and forever. So like he is who he is to all of us. So what I'm saying is the healing is not just for me or Lynn. The supernatural money overflow is not just for Amy. It is for you.
Yep.
It's for you. And the great thing is, like Amy said, he is pursuing you. Oh Lord, honey, I miss my calling. Okay.
I feel
Any
like
others, Zach? Anybody?
yeah, this is a fun one. Although I don't know. Here, I'll let you make the call here.
Just do it, Zach. Don't even preface.
Okay.
Just go all in.
Nancy wrote, I was behind on my rent a couple of months and they were getting ready to evict us and my husband. We went to the casino one night and prayed for an answer. And with our last $7, we put it in the machine and won $3,000. He saved us and we were able to pay the rent and not get evicted.
Okay, I'm glad you told this. This is fantastic. This is God showing up, because look, Zach, why did you say you didn't know about this? Were you sitting there going, I don't know about gambling. God,
yeah, I was saying I don't know about gambling. I don't want us to, I don't want people
let
to.
Let me put it in perspective.
You got to pray and go to the casino, right?
It ain't about how she got the money. It's God gave her the money. Look at this. If God in the Bible will use a donkey, and as my grandmother would say, I can't say this time, bleep me. If he'll use a, he didn't bleep me. He was going to have me say it.
Okay. Do it again.
1, 2, 3. If God will use a ass, you didn't bleep it.
I did bleep it.
Oh my God, it was so late. Ass. No, and it's in the Bible.
There's clearly a delay on the live. I feel like this is not. Look at how fancy. Look at how fancy this control room is. Clearly, this is not my fault, Kim.
No, but if he'll use a donkey in the Bible to get his point across, he can use a slot machine.
Absolutely.
So what I say to you is that it's not, we got to get out of our stereotypical norm, because we were raised Baptist. Not that Baptist is bad, but it ain't perfect. And we've got to start experiencing God. It's not a doctrine. It's not a religion.
Yeah.
He uses religion. He uses churches. We all should go to church. We all should do, but those are good things. That's what I'm trying to say. But that's not the relationship. Go with it, because you want to talk. What were you going to say?
Well, I was just going to say in my particular denomination that I was brought up, that
it was Baptist.
It wasn't, the supernatural was not talked about a lot. And so, for me to start experiencing that was a new experience, and to be open to that.
Were you hesitant?
You know what? Not when I got ready to go.
Ooh.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like maybe when I was a teenager, but when things started happening, I started seeing God move. I was ready.
Why?
I was ready to go.
Why were you ready? Do you think? Because that's what I'm talking about. I'm curious to see why you think you were ready. What made you ready, Amy? Because there's a lot of people going, I don't know. I know it's a good question. That is. I think I know the answer.
Will you tell me
no,
what you think
I don't
about?
want you. I'm not going to tell you.
I just. Oh gosh.
Why do you think you were ready?
Because I just wanted to know. I wanted to, if that was part of what God was, I wanted to know it. I wanted to experience it. I wanted to feel it. And I wanted to, just experience and know that.
Did you have anything to lose?
No.
And all to gain?
No.
I think sometimes we had, like I said, remember I said you had nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You could not put your trust and faith in parents. They had passed. Family. They had their own, money problems. They had their own bills to pay. You didn't have anything else.
Right. Yeah.
When I was on the floor, when Lynn was on the floor, she didn't have it. When I was on the floor in the bathroom, I didn't have any. I didn't have my family. I didn't even have a nurse. The little student nurse, she couldn't help me clearly. I didn't have anything else. But see, y'all, even in our abundance, we should be that broken where we don't have anything. Do you think that was part of the reason why you could just be like, let's go?
Oh yeah. What
else you gonna do?
Yeah. What else? I don't have anything to lose. I don't. I I was just, that's where I was. I had nothing to lose, and I was just ready to go all in full
Were you scared? Full throttle.
throttle. That's it. I was going to say,
What were you going to say?
full sink line and sinker.
Hook, line, and sinker. Full hook, line, and sinker. Okay.
Anyway, was I scared? No, I wasn't scared. Mm-mm.
And the thing about it is, what I learned from that experience and all of the things, people always ask me, they say, "Oh, Kim, I love how you and Amy share your faith and blah, blah." We can't help it because of the experiences. Our lived experience and your lived experience is what we are supposed to testify to.
I will say this, though. Can I share this, though?
Yeah.
Is that, and I tease you about this sometime, that you're much more open to the spiritual world.
Sure.
Remember, because Kim, Zach, and I don't remember if this was going, but Kim, it's not uncommon for Kim to come up to Kim and give her a word of knowledge. For those of you that have,
They're not church people.
They give her kind of prophecies or whatever, or say, God told me to tell you this or whatever. And I'm like, God, I want a prophecy. Nobody ever comes up and tells me anything. And so, but I'm a little bit more of a reserved or,
But we're not even we're not, there's nothing wrong with being part of the charismatic church, but we're not, we don't live, our world is we go to church, we tithe our money, we raise our hands and praise God and we go home. I mean, I'm not saying it's that, it's not important or special or whatever. It's just not.
But what I'm saying is you're a little bit more free.
I'm free.
You're more free.
I'm free
than I am.
I do believe God is trying to show all of you listening too. I think he's trying to not unite us all together. I don't think I know. I'm going to say I know, because when two or more are gathered, when the collective comes together, that's why Bell by Kim Gravel is in QVC is so strong, because all of us women were together.
Yes.
We're creating an army of support for one another and encouragement for one another and passion and love and lock arms together and do life together, right? You got breast cancer, we're going to pray for you. We don't even know you, but we know you.
Yes.
Because we're all connected. We're all part of the body.
Yes.
Am I right or wrong?
You are so right.
Can you tell people, because they think I'm crazy and just passionate.
You're so right, because there's power in unity.
Yes.
There's such power. And
that's why division is all around us all the time.
And when people everybody don't have to know and believe in the same exact thing, but there's power in unity. And when you share your stories and say, well, this is what happened to me, and you're like, wow, this is what happened to me, or mine was a little bit different. And you grow and learn, and like you said, you're stronger together.
And I'm going to tell you something. This is
also, you always say the tides rise.
All tides rise, baby.
All tides rise. Yeah.
All tides rise.
Yeah.
And all of you that's watching this right now, if you have stories, supernatural stories, we want to hear what they are.
Yeah.
I want to do these lives once a month on Wednesdays, and it's not church, but it's a community where anything and everything is possible. And I say that because I think that there's bigger things for you, and for me, and for you, Amy, and for you, Zach, for all of us. And I think we get caught up in what we see. We get caught up in the 1%.
Yes.
Belief is so important.
It's everything.
It's everything. I wanted you to hear these stories because that's why we believe so strongly.
Right. There you go.
Because people ask me, how do you have so much faith, Kim? I'm telling you how. He's shown up for me over and over, and nobody can take that away from me. I don't give a rip what anybody. I don't care what a psychologist says. I don't care what a doctor says. I don't care what my husband says. I know what I've experienced. And nothing can take that experience away from you. And you've experienced it for something big.
Yeah.
Amy, you experienced your father's death. Sad, awful, trauma. I wish he was here today to see you. He is looking down. He sees you. But you experienced that for what you're doing right now. You have such a heart and a love, and you don't love easy. I love everybody. I wrap my hands. I'll kiss you on the mouth. I mean, that's, you don't, it's not that you love hard, but God has broken you open to really be able to just love people right where they're at. What a blessing. What a gift.
Yeah.
You ain't got to tolerate all people's foolishness, right? I'm not saying be a doormat. I'm not saying, let people just walk all over you. But am I saying anything that's making sense? Is anybody resonating with this, Zach?
Everyone is resonating with it. I have, thanks, Kim, smart girl. I have,
I don't want to hear that. That ain't
I always
true.
say believe. What's that?
Yeah, believe.
A lot of amen.
I'm not that smart.
Amen. God is good. A lot of I believe
God
you,
is
Kim.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and again, I don't think we told these stories to be believed. I think we told the stories to testify to who God is.
Well, to testify and to explain, like you said, I thought that was what you said. That's why we believe so strong. That's why I have, honestly, and I'm not saying this to brag, but I have, if there's anything I know at the end of the day, it's that God has me and it's going to work out. I know that.
It's supernatural
There's
faith.
nothing anybody can tell me. There's no situation that come along that I don't, because I've experienced God in such a real way.
Supernatural faith is having this unwavering belief in who he is. And I'm not saying you're always going to do the right thing. And I'm not saying you're always going to believe. How much do I doubt and talk about, is this going to work out? And you're like, it's going to work out. And you're like, I don't believe it. I'm like, it's going to do it, Amy.
Right.
I mean, I'm not saying it's perfection.
Yeah.
But it is rooted like an old oak tree. The oak tree has so many roots and they spread so wide. It's the only tree that does that. It has a root system that is rooted where it's at, but then it can grow deep and wide. And that's the kind of faith we're talking about. It's an old oak tree. It cannot be moved.
Right.
It can blow back and forth. You can lose a few branches.
Right.
Lose your leaves, lose some limbs. But you can't pull that bad boy up.
No.
That's the supernatural faith I'm talking about.
Right.
Zach, any more great stories? Any more things to say?
Oh, there's some good
before we close
stories. I was
this
going
one
to say
out?
this comment. I just really like this comment. Kim, this is your calling, more important than fashion and makeup. Keep bringing your faith. We so need it.
We all need it. Thank you. I received that. And I think Amy and I both, we know. And whatever, God has such a huge purpose for all of us. And for you listening, somebody is listening going, I know he's got a big purpose for me. I don't know what it is. Or I'm in a bad way financially. Or sometimes God uses us to be the supernatural for people.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we'll talk about that next.
Oh, that's good.
How can you be the supernatural faith for somebody else? Okay, look, y'all. I know we've dumped a lot on you and you're processing. If you want to be encouraged and loved, make sure to subscribe to The Kim Gravel Show everywhere you get your podcast and share this with somebody. Maybe somebody's going through something, Amy, and they need some encouragement. They need something supernatural to believe in because they don't see it. Help them see the 99%, y'all. And also you can follow my BFF, Amy, on Instagram at Amy J. Goins.
Oh, wow.
Oh, you've got a following, girl.
Okay.
People love you, honey.
What?
Amy's looking for a man. Also, if you know of anybody, put their digits in the DMs. Be sure to follow all of our Bell by Kim Gravel, LWYA. We love you so much. And listen, we're standing in the gap for you. I'm just going to say a little prayer right now. God, everybody listening within earshot of this, people who are listening to this after the live is over, people who need that supernatural faith, I just pray that you touch them and meet them right where they are and show yourself to them in a supernatural way. And to everybody right now that is on this chat or listening to this, God's love is real. He loves you. He's pursuing you. He woos you. You are his most favorite thing. Whew. Amen and amen. I love y'all so much. Thanks for watching. Till next time, keep the faith.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, y'all. Zach Miller is the executive producer of The Kim Gravel Show. His production company is Uncommon Audio. Our producer is Kathleen Grant, the brunette exec. Production help from Emily Breeden and Sarah Noto. Our cover art is designed by Sanaz Huber at Mammarian Creative. Our show is edited by Mike Kligerman. Our guest intros are performed by Roxy Reese. Our guest booking is done by Central Talent Booking. Our ads are furnished by True Native Media. And y'all, I want to give a big, huge thank you to the entire team at QVC Plus. And a special thank you to our audience for making this community so strong. If you are still listening, then you must have liked a few episodes along the way. So tell somebody about it. Tell somebody about this show. And join our mailing list at thekimgravelsshow.com. I cannot do this show without you, and so I thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening. I hope you gained a little bit of encouragement, light, and love from watching and listening to The Kim Gravel Show. I love y'all so much. Until next time, bye y'all.